from Provo, Utah, this is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
And I am your other host, Joe.
And today, we did not finish 7.
No, but we didn't promise it to them. We just promised it to each other.
True.
Off air.
Off air, yes.
Yeah, I'm at the end of this one right now, which I know is disappointing, but it is the majority of the game.
True, I would say that, yeah.
And then you're just doing extra stuff before you go in and kill Sephiroth, right?
Yeah, I haven't actually finished the game either, but I'm trying to kill Emerald and Ruby. And I've got a pretty good strategy, but it's going to take forever to kill Ruby, so we'll talk about that in a tactics section of next episode, hopefully, if we have it done.
Hopefully we have it done by next time.
Yeah.
We should. I'm not going to promise anything, though, because I need to get some extra stuff done, too. If not the weapons, then pretty much everything else, though.
Okay, it's not too much, really.
Yeah, except for the weapons part. That's quite a bit.
To get the leveling up you need, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick.
All right, so we got 2 new iTunes reviews this week, and we want to thank those who have brought in iTunes reviews already. Of course, encourage those who wish to, or encourage all you listeners to please review us on iTunes. It helps us with our rankings, which we've been ranking up, and then we've been ranking down, and we've been going all over the place this week.
Yeah.
So
help us be the ultimate podcast that we claim to be.
Help us be at least number 5.
Yeah.
There are like a couple dead Final Fantasy podcasts in between us and the podcasts that aren't dead. There's Union, and then there's a couple of 14 podcasts that are still going. Like Sequence Break, I think, is still going.
Yeah.
And then one of the other.
There's another one, yeah.
Final Fantasy XIVs. We should be like number 4, at least.
Yeah, so help us out.
At least we're above Damn Chocobo most of the time.
That's true, and it's enjoyable. So
let's see. The first review is a 5-star review. It's called 5 out of 5 by X8 Edge is Gay X. That's a really tough name. Do you see that?
Straight Edge is gay.
Oh, Straight Edge is gay.
The XX is like a weird thing they put around descriptions sometimes for like gaming ID tags.
Thank you for the education.
It's really weird, but yeah. I've never done it, but
Okay. It says, great podcast, very entertaining if you're into Final Fantasy. Love how these dudes make an effort to actually play the games all the way through before they upload their review episodes. Thank you. You're the only one who has noticed that. Other podcasts will often like do a halfway part in the game.
Really?
Yeah, Damn Chocobo does it, and then the Retro RPG podcast, they'll do it. They'll do the games in sections. So like, let's say at the end of last week we got through a certain section of Final Fantasy VII, then we do an episode on just that section.
That would be really short.
Well, there's that. It would be extremely highly detailed, and I'm sure there would be listeners who would want that, but I want to do episodes on other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff, so.
Yeah. There's a lot of FF podcasts that are more popular than this one that don't even upload new episodes anymore. Thank you. These guys are doing their best to get out new episodes on time. I appreciate the time they put into this cast to make it the best they can for the listeners and fans of the games and community that they belong to. Thank you, Straight Edge is Gay. Thank you for a very nice review. We got another review here from The Void, which I believe is Green Mushroom.
It is, I'm sure.
So, and he probably has a question for us. Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. So go to agreenmushroom.com if you want to look at his stuff. You want to read this one, Caleb?
Yeah, I'll hit it.
Okay. Your hands are really dry, by the way.
Yeah, they're always that way.
Okay.
That's why I am Husk. All right.
Sorry, we just held hands.
Yeah, it was intimate. All right, so it's titled Best Final Fantasy Podcast. Thank you. From The Void 19. I've been listening to this podcast since the beginning, and I figure it's finally time to give them a review. These guys are great. This is easily the best Final Fantasy podcast out there right now.
Easily.
Wow. Most other Final Fantasy podcasts either focus on the MMO Final Fantasy games or get so off topic that they might as well not be considered a Final Fantasy podcast. Not the case with Ultima Final Fantasy. They stay on topic, at least somewhat, and discuss the entire Final Fantasy series. They've started with the very first Final Fantasy game and are slowly playing their way through the entire series.
I don't think it's that slow.
I emphasize the slowly.
Okay.
Their review episodes tend to be the best, but every episode consistently has an interesting topic directly related to Final Fantasy.
Except for this one.
Yeah. A word of warning. You might want to skip the early episodes that have fan fiction in the title.
Aww.
I didn't enjoy that segment, but it has since been taken out and put into its own separate podcast. That was based on listener feedback. Speaking of which, the hosts actually interact with their listeners. They ask for feedback, input, and questions and are continually improving the podcast based on listener reactions. I can wholeheartedly recommend this podcast to any Final Fantasy fan.
Oh, thank you very much, Green Mushroom. Void.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the fan fiction ones, I guess.
Well, we have some people who really love them, and then a lot of people that really hate them. So, but we really love them.
Yeah, they're a blast to record.
The fan fiction is really fun to read. At least I think so.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we.
I don't know if we have a lot of people that hate them. I think we have.
Well, considering downloads for Super Sexy Swinging fan fiction based upon this one, I think it's about 1/4 of our listeners really like the fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, just people haven't found the Super Sexy Swinging fan fiction yet.
Yeah, it's...
You just got to search for it on iTunes.
Yeah, it's there.
It's definitely there.
Yeah, definitely there.
Yeah, we were ranking in the video games a couple weeks ago. We'll probably rank again today, too, when we put out a new episode. All right, so this week, we're going to do something very different. Having trouble deciding what to talk about today, because we thought we were going to get done with 7, but we didn't. So, last night I figured, hey, we should try out some of those Final Fantasy recipes we've seen online, like the food recipes and, and the drinks,
Okay.
And so I printed a couple of the recipes off. Last night I went grocery shopping and got all the ingredients. And we're going to try those out today. And I think it should be pretty fun. We're going to be making Tantalus steamed sandwiches. And then a couple of drinks. We're going to try Haste from the Drunken Moogle. And then Aerith from the Drunken Moogle.
Just Aerith?
Or Aerith.
Like just Aerith?
That's all it's called.
Oh, man.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's going to be awesome.
And then we'll go to a very, very in-depth question segment after that. So let's get to cooking, Schweiss.
Let's do it. So here we are with our mixed up sauces for this recipe that we're doing here.
And this recipe is called, let's see, what is it called? The Tantalus Steamed Sandwich.
Tantalus Steamed Sandwich.
From finalfantasyrecipes.wordpress.com.
And Tantalus, that's from FF9.
That is from FF9. It's the group that Zidane is part of at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing we did was we mixed up some horseradish, mayonnaise, and ketchup. It's 4 tablespoons of horseradish, or 60 G. I think that's grams, right?
Yeah.
And then 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of mayonnaise, and then 1 tablespoon or 17 grams of ketchup. But we had to double it because we're making 2 sandwiches. And so we mix that all up in a bowl. And now, let's see. The instructions are preheat oven to 375, which we did. In a bowl, whisk together, blah, blah, blah. Lightly toast the bread. Fuck you. So I gotta go lightly toast this bread.
Yeah, with our dual toaster as opposed to quad. Take a bit. Alright, and then after that, we place on a very large piece of aluminum foil. Very large.
Okay, there's aluminum foil right there. You should get it very large. While I lightly toast the bread.
Alright. Somewhat skilled in making things very large, so finally put that to the test here. Yeah, that looks very large. Fucking massive, even. So I assume we're gonna just.
Well, we got 2 different sandwiches here.
Right.
I don't. Okay. Well, let's look at the rest of the instructions here. Okay. Spread about half the dressing on the 2 pieces of bread, saving for the other half for later. Okay. Top 1 of the slices with this, and then the rest with cheese and the other slice of bread. Wrap in aluminum foil. Unwrap and cover with a plate, then quickly flip so the foil is on top. Remove foil, cut sandwich in half, and serve immediately. Wait, so are we cooking those 2 things separate? Wait.
The 2 sandwiches?
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to be.
Okay.
So I gotta cut this in half.
So we gotta have 4 slices.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have to put the aluminum on top? Does it say that?
I think we wrap it up. That's what I'm envisioning, at least.
Check it. So apparently Zidane and his troop, they have a lot of things that they have available.
Wrap in aluminum foil.
It's wrap in aluminum, so we need to wrap all 4 separately, or just...
No, wrap the sandwich.
Oh, wrap the sandwich.
Jesus.
Good God.
Zidane, why?
I just want pictures.
They should get IKEA to do it, so it's like...
Alright, we're gonna rip this aluminum foil in half.
So it's pictures, but it's pictures
2 separate
that are
sandwiches.
insane.
Okay. So we got our 2 lightly toasted pieces of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And there's horseradish all over the place now. Okay, on top 1 of the slices with, in order, half of the cheese. So it's 2 ounces of Swiss cheese, which is about 2 slices.
Alright, so 2 slices each.
Right. Because I got a 10-ounce package.
Do you?
I was hoping more like 10-inch.
That doesn't sound like too much. So that's half the cheese? Good God. I guess it isn't.
No. The full amount is 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So half of the cheese, then the meat.
Okay.
So the meat is 4 ounces, so it's a little bit more than half of one of those. Okay.
Are they the same meat?
They are. They're both pastrami.
Oh. One of them looks much more red.
Oh, maybe one's corned beef. No.
You want to check, maybe?
Nah, threw the packages away.
They're right there.
Okay, wait a minute. Then all of the meat.
Now this is corned beef, you bastard.
You sure?
This
I
one.
got 2 things of pastrami. There's say nothing on them.
No, they're both pastrami. Apparently corned beef and pastrami look and smell pretty much the same.
Very much. That's a lot of meat.
Unless Tommy's has been lying to me about their pastrami.
Tommy Burger?
Yeah.
That's a good place to go. If you guys are in Provo, go to Tommy Burger.
Yep. It's only made me feel one time.
Depends on the cook that's there.
It was the good cook, too.
Okay. Good. Then the rest of the dressing? What the fuck?
It's Spread half the dressing on the 2 pieces of bread. Save the other half for later.
Oh,
You got a butter knife?
somewhere. Let me go get one.
Alright, I'm just going to spread mine with a fork, because I'm not going to wait. Seems to be working quite shittily, but
Well, I'm gonna spread mine with a fork then.
since you heard my positive review of...
Of the fork?
yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly why.
Oh, yeah, this looks good. Alright.
So it's half and half, and then the rest on one slice. That's weird. Okay.
Well, the rest is going to be on top of the meat. Alright, so you got the cheese, the meat.
Yummy.
The rest of the dressing. Fuck. Dude, there's like...
So it's like half of that.
Yeah.
Cheese, the meat.
Oh, spreading that dressing all over my meat. Getting it nice and wet.
That's a lot of meat. Okay,
I know.
let's see. And then the rest of the cheese?
Sauerkraut.
Oh, then sauerkraut. How much sauerkraut? 2 ounces of sauerkraut.
Alright, this is a
How many is the total?
14-ounce can.
40.
So that's a lot of sauerkraut.
So 1/7 of that.
Okay, get your spread. Use the rest of that so we can use the fork for the sauerkraut.
Oh. This goes on top of the meat.
Yeah, and then the sauerkraut and then the cheese.
The rest of the spread, good God.
I know.
I'm gonna go a little light on this.
You probably should. We went a little liberal on the quantities, at least I know I did.
think. I'm gonna put this in the sink.
Bring the fork back, though.
Alright.
So it's essentially a Reuben sandwich, but, you know.
No, dude, it's a Tantalus steamed sandwich.
Oh, you're right. Ooh, with Gasol pickles.
I didn't make the Gasol pickles. You had to, like, make the pickles, and they take a day.
You had to make them?
Yeah.
So we're just going to have regular pickles.
So I got kosher dills.
Apparently Vlasic sells Gasol pickles, so keep that in mind.
Alright, so it's 2 ounces of sauerkraut. So
Alright.
you're gonna have to guesstimate
Oh, God.
how much 2 ounces is, because we don't have a way to measure that.
Well, 1/7 of it. Probably about that. Maybe a little more.
Alright.
I like sauerkraut, so I don't know if
I
like
fucking love sauerkraut.
it's got to be good though, and I don't know if Del Monte's canned sauerkraut is
It's not that bad.
okay.
It's not that bad. The dude online, he's like, make sure you go and get some homemade sauerkraut.
It would have been better, but
Yeah.
this is a hell of a lot easier. All right, so I got the sauerkraut on through the last slab of cheese. Now it's to wrap this baby up and stick it in the oven.
Is that all you do? Let's see. Place on a baking sheet and cook for about 30 minutes. So we gotta place it on a baking sheet. Can't just
Yeah.
put it in there.
Well, it doesn't have to be necessarily a.
The rest of the cheese goes on top of the sauerkraut, right?
Yeah. Ooh. Then the.
See, this is starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, this is the properly wrapped package here. You want to do this for protection from the elements of the stove and its transmitted diseases.
Sure.
Wrap it and put it in the oven.
Alright.
Alright, this one looks good enough.
This is kind of a massive sandwich, so we're gonna stick these in the oven and we'll be right back.
Okay.
So the next thing that we're gonna make while the Tantalus steamed sandwiches are being cooked is we're gonna make a Final Fantasy mocktail called Haste,
Nice.
which is from the drunkenmoogle.com, and it's made from Mitch of the Drunken Moogle. So we need orange juice, pineapple juice, Red Bull, and then a splash of grenadine. So let's get to the okay. We gotta have 1.5 ounces of orange juice. So let's get out the orange juice. So yesterday I was at Walmart and I was getting all these fucking juices, and I realized that the recipe didn't like really specify whether or not I was like having to get 100% juice, or like if I was supposed to get like some store bought stuff. So I went and got everything was super expensive. So the pineapple juice, 100% organic pineapple juice, 100% organic apple juice, and then 100% organic cranberry juice.
Well, that's good.
And then there was no ingredients list on the orange juice, so I'm guessing the 100% orange juice that it's saying on the front, it's claiming that it's 100% orange juice. So even if the bartender or whoever made this decided that, you know, it was okay for other stuff, didn't specify. So this is the pure,
right?
the pure drink mixes we're making here, because I'm not an expert at this, obviously. Okay.
Ours are non-alcoholic as well.
Yes.
Since we have work.
Okay, so it's 1.5 ounces. So that'd be like right there. Yeah.
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 All right.
Wait, are there instructions? Mix the pineapple juice and orange juice in a champagne flute.
Is that what this is?
I think so.
Champagne flute.
I don't know though.
Mix it in a skin flute.
That would burn so bad.
Yeah, it would. All right.
Okay. You're supposed to have 2 of these, I guess.
Yeah, we'll go one at a time.
One at a time? Okay. And then 1.5 ounces.
Unless you want to just double it
down. Could you open the pineapple juice?
Actually, I don't think we can fit it all.
It's not the whole thing. I think it's just these. And the pineapple juice.
All right. Perfect.
Put that in there.
Top off with Red Bull.
And then top off with Red Bull. I think we top it off here with Red Bull. So you mix those two, and then you top it off with the Red Bull. So it's, how much Red Bull? It's 3 ounces of Red Bull.
Not enough. I'm not gonna go all out with the shaking. It's not necessary.
Okay, 3 ounces of Red Bull. That's 4. God, this is a worthless measuring cup. That's 2. Then the in-between mark is 4. We need this though, because episodes without us on some kind of caffeine are pretty boring.
Yeah.
Okay, so pour that into your thing.
Into my mug?
Yeah. No, you top it off, so you gotta make this first.
Oh.
No.
What are you talking about?
You pour.
Oh, you top?
Yeah, you top it off in the drink.
Oh,
so.
okay. So that, and then.
Let's pour that in there. Then you top it off with the Red Bull.
Is it truly topping it off if we have more ingredients now?
And then a splash of grenadine, and he said like 1 or 2 drops. It's not supposed to be a bunch.
Of grenadine?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell it is. It's like syrupy stuff.
Yeah. So. Oh, look at that. Oh, you're not supposed to mix it. Like that. See that? That's Haste.
Nice.
Okay, let's show the people the camera.
That is the Haste.
Look at that color. I don't know what it means, but that's Haste. Here. That's yours.
All right, let's
I
get
gotta
yours.
So it's gonna be a total of 1.5, 1.5, so that's 3 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck it.
Just gonna pour them both in?
I'm gonna pour them both into here.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay. Did you try it yet?
No, not yet.
You're waiting for me?
Yeah.
What a gentleman. Okay.
Are you implying that you wouldn't wait for me?
It's gonna be a little orange heavy. Okay.
You didn't really have to mix it in there.
No. Well, it told me to.
It's true. You already had it mixed up.
Okay. That in there.
The grenadine.
Grenadine. Only 3 ounces of Red Bull.
Hardly enough.
Hardly. So they're good.
Here's...
You mixed it because you didn't put the. You're supposed to put the grenadine in last.
I like that color a little more, though.
Okay.
fuller.
All right.
Joe's looks more like a mango.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty citrusy with the...
Lots of vitamin C. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's rinse these out and try the Aerith.
I didn't really taste anything with the grenadine on the bottom, so...
No, it's just for color, I think. Alright, so the next drink we're going to try is Aerith. So for those of you who are not paying attention, that was 1.5... What was it? 1.5 ounces of orange juice, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 3 ounces of Red Bull, and then a couple drops of grenadine. And it was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yep, and I'm going to need more of that Red Bull here soon.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 3 milliliters of cranberry juice, which is 1 ounce. I checked it last night, so... Or centiliters. Milliliters. I feel like a fucking moron.
Cranberry.
For the international listeners out there. Yeah, so 1 ounce of cranberry juice. Okay. So I gotta cut these limes up here. Gotta garnish it with limes. 1 ounce of cranberry juice, and then 1.5 ounces. You're supposed to mix the first 4 ingredients, but 1.5 ounces
It'll mix.
of apple juice. So many juices here. Where the lid for the pineapple juice went? Okay.
1.5, you said?
Yeah, 1.5. And then 1/3 of an ounce or 1 centiliter of lime juice. So you're just gonna have to eyeball. Gonna have to eyeball it. Oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 1 ounce. Got there. 1/3 of an ounce?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking lime, dude.
Well, you got a lot of ginger ale too. Let's see, so it's 1.5. Okay, so it's a little bit more than that amount of the grenadine too.
Okay.
So because it's 1.5 centiliters, so that's a little over 1/3.
Going backwards.
So he's pouring it right now. This is for Aerith. I gotta get a knife real quick.
Just Aerith, nothing else. So we will soon know how Aerith tastes.
Something Cloud never got to know.
Nope.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think Zach did, though.
Yeah, you think so?
Probably. It's never quite as clear as the Tifa one, but...
The Tifa sex scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get these limes out. I realized I only needed to buy 1 lime. But I bought 2. So I guess you can have another one if you want. Probably will have another one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so then after that, so you gotta mix those 4 ingredients together.
Okay.
You're supposed to pour it over ice, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Fill with ginger ale and garnish with 3 lime wedges.
Canada Dry.
Canada Dry ginger ale.
Is this custom?
Yep, it's cheap. You can put it however much you want, I guess.
I'm feeling it.
Are you? Having a goblet?
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't diminish the... I don't think it will. The lime's going to be pretty fucking potent.
Enjoy your limes.
Ooh. Sizzle.
That is a tropical drink.
That is.
So now I gotta make the same fucking thing.
Alright, let's get Joe's.
Okay, so... What was it? 3? Okay, so it was like 1 cranberry. Where's my cranberry at? Man, where's my cranberry at? Okay.
I'll stand here uselessly.
Okay, you stand there. 1 cranberry. And then 1.5 apple. So that's right about...
It's kind of odd that they have the lime juice and then the limes.
Yeah.
At least I think. But who knows? We don't.
5 apple?
Not
No,
yet.
we don't know. Okay, so like 1/3 of a ounce of lime.
Here is my drink.
For those video listeners who have stayed with us for an hour and a half now. Mine's gonna be really limey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pour too much in. Okay. And 1.5 a grenadine. Or food coloring.
I was gonna say how much ever you eyeball.
1.5 grenadine.
Just cranberry.
Let's see, what is that? Oh, probably too much. That's what that is. Okay. And then, gotta mix those up. God, that looks good though.
It does.
You should slice me some lime wedges here.
Okay.
I'm doing this.
You want like 3?
Oh, this is gonna be a nasty table when we're done with this.
As if it wasn't before.
Yeah, 3 lime wedges.
Well, I guess that's 1, huh?
Sure.
Big ass lime wedge.
Big ass lime wedge. Ooh. Oh, girl. It does have the Aerith color, doesn't it? It's kind of cool.
She's really frothing for you.
Fuck it. I'll just take the 2.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit though.
Fine.
All right. Okay, let's drink it. Let's drink it. All right. So this is the Aerith Final Fantasy VII Virgin Cocktail. Once again, this is from drunkenmoogle.com, and it said drink created by Mike of scrollbar.dk.
All right, Mike.
Okay.
Yes.
To a virgin cocktail. It's very limey.
Yeah. I think it's good. It would mask alcohol very well.
Yeah?
I think so.
Oh. I'll have to take it to work then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant the taste.
Well, that ain't bad. I think out of the 2, though, I'm going to prefer Haste.
Yeah. Haste had a little better of a flavor.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, I still recommend it, though. It's pretty good. Ingredients aren't as cheap, though, so I'm going to go with Haste all the way on that. And then we'll let you know what the sandwich tastes like eventually.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the sandwich when it comes out of the oven. All right. So the sandwiches are out of the oven after being cooked for 30 minutes. And we got to unwrap them from their
Oh, man.
from their tomb.
That looks amazing.
Holy shit. I don't know how to eat this. Oh.
With the wrapper.
I'm not a big fan of M&M's, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. That's a dumb joke.
It's poor, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that is good.
Is it? Hot.
It is.
Mmm. This is good radio. Mmm. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
It's a good group of flavors there with the steak sauce, ketchup, and the the sauerkraut.
Hot. Fucking hot. Hold on. Ugh. So if you love sauerkraut, you're gonna love this sandwich.
Yeah, it's very sauerkrauty.
It's a very messy sandwich. Mmm. It is interesting the type of things people have come up with for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how loosely they they can make it.
Yeah. Sure. Mmm. God, I'm eating this like a caveman right now.
You're losing a shitload of on the bottom there.
Yeah.
Well, I think
You recommend this sandwich?
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, this was the cheapest part of the day. Was the sandwich stuff. It was a pain in the ass to find rye bread, though.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Mmm. Okay, well, let's get to the question segment, shall we?
Yeah.
This is a good sandwich.
It is, and I don't think you need to hear us eating it for the next 5 minutes. So.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. You. To our forums. Or contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them within a week. This is the question segment. Ask and you will receive.
Okay, well, first question.
That's
You got all the questions, because...
That's a good question.
That's a good question?
Yeah. All right, let's do voids.
Do Void's question first?
Yep.
Okay, so go to greenmushroom.com. He is nice enough to give us a question every week. He doesn't have to, by the way. We've been getting a lot of questions, so...
Yeah, so don't feel
It's not a
strained.
necessity, so unless you got like a really good question, don't feel
obligated.
don't feel obligated to do that.
All right, so he asks, how do you guys feel about Final Fantasy collectibles? It seems like there aren't many good ones. Everything seems to be a third-party, low-quality ripoff. Square Enix doesn't do a very good job of merchandising. So question statement.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, the only kind of merchandise I'm familiar with is the necklace, the Squall necklace that Caleb has, which actually seems pretty high quality.
Okay.
It's metal.
Yeah, it's metal.
I'm not one for collectibles, Caleb. Are you?
I'm more for collector's editions of games,
Collector's editions, yeah.
but not so much like...
Not so much action figures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really a big collector. This is certainly more of a question for the forums, I'd say. Just because neither of us, I guess, are really that much into the collectibles.
Yeah.
Even though I have been inclined to, like, try to import some, Final Fantasy, like, goblets and like that.
Okay.
But I never actually went through with it.
Yeah, I do know what they're talking about, though, or at least what Void's talking about. I have seen a lot of them that they're pretty crappy. Like some of the plush dolls. I know it's probably difficult to make a quality stuffed animal toy thing, but I see some of them and I'm like, yeah, it's like they're not even trying.
I think I would like a Cactar plush doll.
I would too. I would sleep with it.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
It would protect me.
Yeah, but on collector's editions of the games, yeah, I do wish they would, because I know they skip some collector's editions for us here in the States.
Right.
And I kind of wish we would have those.
Yeah, or, you
Because
know.
I would have bought them.
Yeah, I probably would have, for some of them at least. And the one I did buy, Final Fantasy XII's, like the extra disc is pretty crappy other than the interviews. The
interviews are
retrospective
in depth and they're good.
Yeah,
the retrospective sucks ass.
it's horrible. So it doesn't just, I guess the bad quality isn't just in the merch, it's also in the collector's edition of 12.
The collector's edition that I really like is, of course, the new HD Final Fantasy X and X-2 collector's edition thing, which I have right here. And I love that there's the games, and then there's the the audio episode, and then there's the in-between episode. So it has the full game experience. It also has this great art book that came with it, and some just these little poster things. I'm not sure what they are of of the characters. And then also it comes with a Blu-ray disc of the entire soundtrack of Final Fantasy X.
Oh, wow.
And so you can either rip the files onto your computer and have the whole soundtrack, if you have a Blu-ray disc drive, which I don't, or you can put it into your Blu-ray player and just play the soundtrack with it's like a slideshow soundtrack thing that you can just have on in the background.
That's
it's
pretty sweet.
Cool, yeah. I think they really did a good job with those limited collector editions of Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, and then of course there's my copy of Final Fantasy Anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Where
that has the soundtrack on it.
Yeah, it has the soundtrack in it.
Yeah, well that's what happens when you buy Black Label, isn't it?
Yeah, you get
Bastard.
the best stuff. And speaking of that, it's pretty interesting. The artwork on the disc is actually different if you got a Black Label and not a green.
Oh, on the disc, yeah.
Yeah, it's like black print
they
instead
do
of white. It looks better for the
Does it?
Black Label, yeah.
Sure
I
does.
think. But like your Black Label copy of 7, I think looks better on the discs.
I have the Vagrant Story special edition. It comes with a demo of some really famous game, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I used to have a special edition of Parasite Eve 1 that had a 7 demo. It was pretty sweet.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know, but I got rid of it.
Why'd you get rid of that?
I was a kid and I traded it because
Dumbass.
I didn't care for Parasite Eve at the time.
That's too bad. What other questions we got here?
Well, that is also a good question. Let's see if I got the site here.
Let's go on to our forum.
Yep. Ultima Final Fantasy.
.boards.net.
.boards.net, yeah. All right, so
Sorry, guys. I needed a free thing. Sick of spending money.
One of the questions is, what is our favorite Final Fantasy cover art?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is.
What is your favorite Final Fantasy cover art? Could be any of them. I don't think it just has to be the North American releases, even though that's what we're familiar with.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those. I don't know. I think I like Dirge of Cerberus's a lot. I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's it's hollow and it's got Vincent, but I don't know. I think Final Fantasy X is also really good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Even though I don't care for Titus as much as probably most people, it is a pretty sweet picture, and I do really like that sword design.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. I'd have to go with Final Fantasy X.
You took mine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was going to go with Final Fantasy X, but now I can't. 10 is a really great, iconic image, though, on the North American artwork. I think it's different for Japanese artwork.
Probably.
Which is really the only case where I actually like the North American artwork. Because, I don't know, that picture is very epic, I'd say.
Yeah, it is.
And so I like that one. I like the simplicity of Final Fantasy 13's.
Okay.
And
just lightning.
Yeah, just lightning in the middle there. And do like the anthology artwork too.
Yeah, I'd probably say Final Fantasy IV is really good too. Mm-hmm. Although so is 6's. Yeah, 6 is it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And I like the artwork the best when it's just the logo, but I think my only exception to that is the Final Fantasy X artwork.
You think so?
Yeah. Because otherwise, it's like a bunch of people stacked on top of each other, and I don't really like that. Which, for some odd reason, they always need to sell it that way here in North America.
Yeah, they just feel like they have to.
It doesn't look as good, so I have no idea why they gotta do that.
Right. So we have another one here that is, what is your favorite Final Fantasy minigame?
Ooh, that's a big subject on the forums this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What is your favorite Final Fantasy minigame, Schweiss?
Well, I'd say the gold saucer. I consider it all one thing. And the reason behind that is just how many items that are in there. I mean, it's insane how much shit I've picked up from the gold saucer, from materia to the Omni Slash to the W Summon.
So you're just gonna cover Final Fantasy VII's minigames with the gold saucer?
Yep. Gold saucer.
Because it's one giant minigame to you?
Pretty much. It's like Vegas. It's Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah, if I'm gonna recall the ones that are probably my favorites, I don't like playing it for hours to get certain things, but every once in a while, Triple Triad's a lot of fun in Final Fantasy VIII. Until the rules get all f***ed out and start messing with you. I hate that.
Okay.
When the rules get crazy. And then I really enjoy the G-Bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physics are so crappy on Final Fantasy VII's minigames, but I love it.
All right, so similar answer, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, the Chocobo racing is kind of cool, but it's not really a race for the most part. Like, sometimes you'll get there's a certain dude that you'll race against that's got a black Chocobo, and he's a freak. His Chocobo's like inhumanly good unless you have a gold Chocobo, and then you could waste him. But whenever he comes in, then it's actually a challenge, and I have to actually pay attention instead of walk off and letting it just run, you know? So that one's... It could be sweet, the Chocobo racing, but it's not. So...
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I found out that betting on the Chocobo races was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't even remember how to do that. So...
See, what other questions we got here? I
let's
know we got
see.
some non-Final Fantasy questions.
What do we think the best versions of each main Final Fantasy game are? And this is tough because we haven't...
We haven't played... Well, I think we've played a little bit of each one. So I think we can talk about that just fine. Final Fantasy I, what's the best version?
Well, definitely not the one I played. I
No,
would probably
definitely
say
not the one you played, and definitely not the NES version. It's Dawn of Souls.
Final Fantasy
If you're going to
1.
play Final Fantasy I, play Dawn of Souls.
1 and 2.
I disagree with 2. You can't use the cheat. The strength stat cheat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They fixed that.
Damn. The HP one they didn't, though, right? They can't, I guess.
No, they really can't, because that's how the game is played.
Unless they just made it like FF1, which would have been better.
Right. So I'd go with Dawn of Souls for the first one, the PlayStation version for the second one.
Okay, and what about FF3?
The only one that's available here is the DS, so unless you're in Japan or something.
Well, and the Android, but it's the same version, essentially. Which I would
if you're
say...
going to get those two, get the Android.
Yeah, the Android's a bigger screen. It's just better.
Which is the same on Steam, too, so
Yeah.
get Steam. Steam version of Final Fantasy 3. Go for it.
Yeah, same for FF4, would you say, or would you say the complete edition?
Complete edition of FF4.
Okay, if that's the one they have on Steam, I'd probably say get it on Steam just because the PSP...
They have the 3D one on Steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember being disappointed at the character designs. I was like,
I'd get Final Fantasy 4 complete on the PSP.
it's beautiful.
Versus, the Super NES version, which has bad translation, the PlayStation version, which is clunky and horrible, and then, yeah, it's just so streamlined in Final Fantasy 4 complete that you gotta go for that one.
Yeah, it looks really good. What about FF5?
FF5, try to get a fan patch of the original Super NES version.
Okay.
Because the PlayStation version that they have out with Anthology is a little slow. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Every time you get into a battle in either of the anthology games, 5 or 6, there's a delay. Kind of
Yeah.
like the delay of me answering this question. There's a delay
Kind of like that.
to getting in and out of battles, which will slow down your time, and it's really kind of annoying when you're looking at a black screen for 4 seconds every once in a while.
Yeah, and that's just the port. That's how
Yeah,
it
it's the
goes.
port, so it doesn't really work that well on the PlayStation, although that's the version we played and we were fine with it. Certainly, if you can get the fan-translated Super NES version, that's a good one. And then, I'm guessing I haven't actually played the advanced version of that, so...
Game Boy Advance.
I'm guessing the Game Boy Advance version is probably pretty well done.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what someone said on the forums, that the Game Boy Advance one's the way to go. And then FF6, I'd probably say Super NES if you can get it.
Yeah, Super NES on FF6. If not, then the Game Boy.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine on PlayStation, and it's an easy way to pick it up, really.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want the best version of 6, I'd grab it on the Super NES or the Game Boy Advance. I guess has a lot of extra content. Same with 5s. So
Cool, yeah, grab it on those then.
obviously 7, we'd go with PS1.
Yeah, I'm going with PS1 on the 7. It's really fast on the computer.
Uh-huh.
I personally like playing on the PlayStation better. I've found out as I've been playing 7.
Okay.
So, but of course that's to each his own. If you prefer to play it on the PC, play it on the PC. Or there might even be a PlayStation Network thing where you can download and play it on your like portable PlayStation.
You can.
Well, then go for that then.
Caleb's got it on his PSP.
But all the versions are the same on 7.
Yeah, they are. There's
Except
no...
for the music used to be really bad in the Steam version, but they fixed
Right.
that.
FF8, would you say...
FF8, PlayStation Network version.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it better than the normal PS1 version?
Well, you just don't have to buy a PS1 if you don't have it.
No, well, you can...
So it's all the same.
If you buy it on PlayStation Network, you have a PS3 then, and
Right.
you can play it on PS3.
Right.
So whichever cheaper, you're saying. Because there's no added content to any of the...
There's no added content to 8. The music is a little weird in the PC version for 8.
Is it?
Yeah, because they have the same tracks, but they're put through a different synthesizer. So the tone is really weird with Final Fantasy VIII. They might have fixed that, but I know that was just something that kind of turned me off when I started playing 8.
All right, and then...
I was like, this music's the same, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot, too.
Yeah,
with
a lot of
7
people
and
have
8.
complained about it, and they might fix that too, because they fixed it for 7.
Yeah, well, people play 7. So with
Fuck
FF9, obviously PS1,
FF9, there's only one version, really.
PS3 download.
You can download it on the PS3, yeah.
Same game, though.
Right.
All right, what about FF10?
FF10? Well, I'm going to go with the HD remaster, simply because it's in HD.
Okay.
I've heard that but I haven't noticed that the voice acting is weird with the HD version, because you can see it. You can see all the mistakes,
Oh, really?
because they cleared up the definition of the game. So that might be something that turns you off, but yeah, HD version.
Yeah, I don't think
Plus,
I
the
would.
HD version is closer to the original Japanese release.
Right, the international.
Right.
Yeah, I'd go with that, too, just from what I've seen, and why not? Get trophies,
Yeah, exactly.
11, obviously, PC, because PS2, I don't even know if they have servers going anymore.
You have to have a hard drive for the PS2 version.
Yeah.
And then I haven't played the 360 version or the PS2 version. I'm guessing it might be okay on the 360. I don't know. That's something you guys have to try out.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not buying a bunch of copies of 11.
No, it's not worth it. FF12, obviously PS2, it's the only one we can get it on.
PS2, and then make sure it's a working copy and doesn't have a scratch in it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And then FF13.
FF13, there's only one version.
Isn't it coming out on Steam?
Oh, wait, it's on Steam, yeah. But
We haven't seen anything on Steam. So.
I think they had to lower the definition for Steam.
They did, but it still looks better.
Okay.
Because the PS3, I guess the computer computes it better, and it's kind of like how the Void was talking with FF12 when he quote-unquote pirated it, just downloaded it onto his computer and played it. It looked a lot better, and it was the same file from the disc. It just the computer could resonate it a little better, because the PS2 only has a certain amount of power.
Well, I don't know what that is technically, but okay.
Maybe it could be something.
All right,
so
so
that's-
the PC version of 13. I've heard there's some bugs with it though, so maybe not.
I would go with PS3.
Yeah, me too.
Safe bet. It still looks fantastic. So I mean, I don't see the need really.
In 14, there's the computer version. Then I saw Cody play the PS3 version.
How did that look?
It looks exactly like the computer version.
Okay.
So whatever version you want for 14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they all connect, which is awesome.
I think
It's
for version
cross-platform.
differences, I think it's a lot more important for the early games than it is for the later ones.
Yeah, they don't really mess with anything.
That NES version of Final Fantasy 1 just makes you want to pull your hair out.
Yeah, it's pretty
The
insane.
missing is horrible.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. You have to like guess or know how many HP every enemy has, essentially.
Exactly.
And that's just too much. All right, so we got another one that's not really Final Fantasy related. It's more of a what do we do kind of question. He asks
Who's he?
Mecha Messiah. Sorry.
About to make a Messiah.
Says
Which
I'm
he had
not.
apparently never heard.
Yeah, it's a good Metallica song. So
It's Leper Messiah, not
Right.
Make a Messiah, but that's what I think of every time I see that.
yeah, I think of it too now. He says, I'm not sure if you're big into musical theater, but has anyone on the podcast or on the forums seen the Book of Mormon? Seeing as you're in Utah and all, although I don't think Provo is a hotbed of hot polygamy action, you're right, it's not. And yes, I am being facetious, whatever. It would be interesting to know your opinions on that musical. Now, I don't think you've seen it, have you?
I've never seen the Book of Mormon,
Well, we've heard it a lot.
but I have played that soundtrack from it like a million times in my car, and I have it memorized.
It's pretty funny.
I'm a pretty big fan of the music from that musical.
All right, so, or follow up, do you have a favorite musical?
Ooh, that's a rough one. Caleb, do you have a favorite musical?
Well,
I like musical theater because I'm in it every once in a while and I watch it every once in a while. So I guess I'm a fan of musical theater and musicals in general. Some musical movies I like too. Schweiss, are you a fan of musicals?
I guess. I mean, they're all right. I don't really go see them because I don't have time and or money. But the ones I have seen, I enjoyed.
Okay. Is there any one in particular that stands out to you?
West Side Story was enjoyable, and the Anne Frank. I guess it was more of a play. Yeah, it was a play. That doesn't count. That one was really good, but not the happy-go-lucky
I
musical.
don't think you
that
could
we're-
have a musical about Anne Frank.
Probably not. At least not the ending.
They're downstairs.
Yeah.
Everybody be quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. That wouldn't work too much.
It wouldn't work for them.
So I'd probably have to go with. I don't know, man. Yeah, probably West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Enjoyed it, and then Taming of the Shrew was pretty funny too. I enjoyed that one.
You know what? I know it gets a lot of flack from especially people who are fans of musical theater, but I really love Les Mis. Les Miserables, or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that really epic musical scores. So there's Les Mis, there's Miss Saigon from the same people, and then I like Phantom of the Opera also. Like those just really big, epic, like booming musicals. I'm really a big fan of, and I wish they would have kept doing that.
Okay.
Because now it's all like, I don't know, this weird, depressing rock musical, like Rent and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really that big of a fan of that kind of musical tone. Even though I like rock and roll myself, I don't think that rock and roll should be mixed with musical music. For some reason, it just doesn't.
Yeah,
work
I
with
mean,
me.
I am the same way. I really like, the heavier stuff, but classical works way better
Yeah,
for stuff like
it's
that.
got some Wagner influence,
Yeah.
and it sounds pretty sweet. So I'm gonna go with Les Mis on that one, just because it has so many memorable songs and stuff like that. And I was in it recently,
Yeah.
and so I got a lot of memories with that play.
Okay.
But yeah, Miss Saigon is also a great one. And Phantom of the Opera is kind of a crappy story, but it's got some good music in it. So
All
that's
right.
what I'm going to go with as far as our completely non-Final Fantasy question.
Right. And then there was kind of another question. Somebody posted, have we thought of like throwing up a Patreon account? What are your thoughts on that? because they
Throwing up a Patreon. Well, I gotta be honest with our listeners. We don't have that many listeners. So you guys out there, you stick with us. Here's the thing about the Patreon thing. Certainly, if we had a bigger audience to pull from, I'd do a Patreon.
Okay.
But I think the show needs to grow some more before people throw money at it.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, they can throw money at it right now.
Yeah, please do. I mean, we're
Please
not against
do.
that.
But I'm not gonna start a Patreon account for it. I know Final Fantasy Union does it, and they get like $35 an episode or something like that, which I'm kind of jealous of. I'll admit.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
A little. I mean,
little
it's
bit.
not that
and
much.
we have gotten a couple donations, but and we certainly appreciate those. But it's mostly just to pay for the podcast because the podcast costs us money.
Right.
It's at least like $23 a month. Plus, there's some other expenses that kind of go along.
Right,
with
like the stuff we did today.
Like,
with
I think there's some sound problems today with the cord, if you haven't noticed already, and that's something that needs to be paid for, which will come out of our own pocket, unfortunately. And then certainly it helps if the listeners help out with that. So click on the PayPal button for now, and we'll think about Patreon in the future.
Yeah, the biggest thing you guys can do for us is really just recommend us, If you're on other forums, let them know about us. Like, that's mostly what I want to see is growth. I want to see more people listening to us because I think we're decent.
Asking questions.
Yeah. More. And and then there's another decent way to do it if you go through our site, and if you're wanting to pick up the earlier games or really anything, I think you can if you're going on Amazon at the very least, you can go click on, like, it's 1 through 6 right now we have up, and you can buy them through our site, and I think we'll get like
so you can
5% or
so
something.
let me explain where they gotta go. You gotta go to ultimafinalfantasy.com. You click on games, and then under each game there'll be a icon that says buy now. So you can go buy the game or anything off of Amazon after you click through that link, and we'll get like 4%.
Yeah. So I mean, if you guys are like gonna be picking up PS4,
If you guys
online,
are gonna be picking up anything, go through that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because we haven't tried if I went on about like a freaking Mix Master or something like that through the site, if it would work. But I think it will because it copies the
It's the little the code.
There's like a code in it.
All you have to do is click through that and then make a purchase on Amazon.
Yeah, so I mean that helps too. If you guys are buying stuff on Amazon, it would help us out if we go through that.
That's one way to support the show. You can click the PayPal button, which is on the main page, or you can go into support the show underneath the main, section of the website, and then there'll be an explanation of our expenses, and then at the bottom there is, of course, another PayPal link, and then there's also a link for our Amazon wish list. So if you wish to buy us one of the future game purchases that we have to make for the podcast, we certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome.
If you go through that too.
We already have a lot of them though, so
Patreon might be easier and more understandable for some people out there. Plus, you can like pledge to do like $2 a month, which is nothing. It's like 50 cents an episode. So, we'll definitely think about it, and we'll probably eventually do it, but not right now.
Yeah, I think that's might be the mentality of it too, where it's like, oh, it's not much an episode, so that's why people go through Patreon mostly. Okay. It's because it seems better, but yeah,
I just go through PayPal, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe someday. But yeah, recommend us.
You got any other questions, Royce?
Biggest thing you can do? I don't think so.
No? I swear we had more questions. Because there was a whole entire questions area that I made that was questions we haven't answered on the podcast yet.
Mini games, side quests. What's the side quest? Oh, they asked if we were going to go back and do the extra stuff.
See, that's an important question. Those aren't questions
the earlier
for the
Final Fantasies.
For the forums. That's the question for the podcast.
Right.
So all those questions that were listed there were part of that.
And we answered them all except for this one.
Okay. So this is our last question. Are we going to go back and do the side quests like we talked about? Twice?
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm not going back. And the reason behind this is I don't really want to, for one. And for two, my versions of these games don't have the side quests. And I would have to go through Final Fantasy IV all the way again on the PSP to do the side stuff, and I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Well, we don't have enough time in between the games. I think I will eventually, And maybe I'll...
In your life, if you replay 4 again?
Yeah, I'll play it on the PSP for sure.
Okay.
But, like, FF3, I tried to get Odin when I was down there. I was way underleveled. He destroyed me, and I said, I don't need you.
I thought I got him.
I think
Didn't
you did.
I get him
Yeah.
I thought so. I thought I did everything in FF3 except for, like, get the new class.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't do that either. And,
No?
I have this really hard time, like, getting Leviathan for some reason in these games. Like, I never get Leviathan. I'm always screwed out of that one summon, like, every time. And I finally got it in 7. Because I went and did.
I did too.
I went and did the pagoda, whatever it's called, thing with Yuffie, and I did get it.
All right.
And I was worried because I didn't think I could on disc 3 because she doesn't steal my materia, and I thought that's what activated that side quest, but you can just go do it.
You can just go to the pagoda.
So I didn't get it in, I don't think I got it in 4, 5, or 6, but I finally did get it in FF7, so
Sweet.
exciting.
All right, and yeah, so that's the reason we're not doing the side quests, because Caleb said no. We're doing a live broadcast, Caleb. Caleb just walked the door.
This is nothing I can do about that.
I know. I'm just warning you before you come out with your dick out.
Oh yeah, because I'm just gonna whip it out. Unless you guys want to see it.
No, they don't.
I don't think so.
No, plus there's not much to see. It's not high definition enough. They can't zoom in.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
We could get a still and, like, circle where it's supposed to be.
Suppose you could do that.
So yeah, that's all the questions.
Yep. All right. So I think that ends it for this very unusual episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. We're also going to have a super sexy swinging fanfiction released either before or after this podcast, whenever we decide to, time the episodes.
Right.
And so make sure you guys who haven't subscribed to our super sexy swinging fanfiction, make sure you go find that and subscribe there.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's
And
a lot of fun.
leave us a review of this podcast. And next week should be done with 7. Should.
Yeah, it's
Should
gonna
be
be
done with 7.
it's gonna be a good episode.
Yeah. So let's get to that.
Let's do it.
Enjoy the grind, guys.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGollier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGollier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast.